Welcome back to the Anfield Exchange. We've got a big game tomorrow, away to Brentford, and I'm worried. I am worried. Recent games, we've struggled a little bit. We struggled to get going. We struggled to break teams down. I think Brentford may be a little bit more open than the Forest game and the Man United game, but still, the league table's getting very close. Arsenal take on Aston Villa at home. So we play at 3 o'clock tomorrow and Arsenal play at 5:30. So we've got a massive opportunity to get points on the board and to put a little bit of pressure on Arsenal. I don't think... Look, Arsenal are catching us. We've got a tough fixture list coming up, but I fancy Villa potentially to get something out of that game. I think Arsenal, obviously, very sound defensively, very good from set pieces. But in terms of open play and creating chances, I know we've been getting wins. They beat Tottenham, but we don't seem to be creating too much in terms of chances. So there's going to come a point where Arsenal slip up. And look, Liverpool needs to capitalise. We've got Ipswich at home in the league after this game against Brentford. So this is a big game. It's not going to be easy. We need to put a strong team out there, and we need to start quickly. We can't start slowly in the first half and then hope to pull it back in the second. I think Brentford will score. There's a history of both teams scoring when we've played away to Brentford in the past, which I'll go through shortly. But yeah, we need to get on the front foot early. And look, I'd love an early goal to ease the nerves, which we are more than capable of. But it depends. It depends who I think Slot's going to start in the attacking line, which again we'll look into earlier. I just want to. So I'll have a read now through of the last 3 games we've played against Brentford. So September 2021, we drew 3-3 away, and in January 2023, we got beat 3-1. That was the season where we underperformed with Klopp. So hopefully that's the anomaly there. And in our game last year against them, February 2024, we beat them 4-1. So there are goals there. I think if we defend well, it could be a comfortable game. Obviously, Brentford are very good at home this season. But yeah, I think if we can defend well and stop conceding silly goals, I think it may be quite comfortable if we can control possession and, like I say, if we don't make any mistakes. In terms of players out, we've got a pretty much full strength team. Darwin Núñez is back from his suspension from the Nottingham Forest game. Obviously, Joe Gomez is still out. He's the only injury concern for Liverpool. Brentford have got a few players out now. I don't think these are all first team players, but Aaron Hickey's out with a hamstring injury. Ethan Pinnock's out. He's picked up a knock. Thiago, obviously that's a long term injury. He's due back in January, but he's not going to feature against Liverpool. De Silva and Ajer, is it? Ajer? I'm not sure how you pronounce that, the centre back. So they're the injury concerns for Brentford. I'm not sure if they've got a strong enough team to cope with those injuries. I think Ayer's first team, I think Pinnock's first team, and I think Hickey's normally first team. But look, we've been playing well without those players recently. So again, it's not going to be an easy game, but as long as Liverpool show up and put in a performance, I think this is what's vital. It's now time for Liverpool to put in a performance. And I said this against Nottingham Forest. It's time for Liverpool to put performance in that shows the Premier League we mean business. We've had a little dip, and to be fair, it's not really a dip. We've drawn our last 2 Premier League games, and we lost a game in the Cup, which there's a second leg. We can still go through. So if we go through in that competition, the first leg's pretty much irrelevant. So yeah, we've drawn 2 games, our last 2 games in the league. I'm not going to say it's a dip. I think we played... Look, obviously we were awful against United. We played quite well against Nottingham Forest, especially in the second half. This is a game where hopefully, if we can play the way we did against Nottingham Forest, we should get our rewards for that. I think we deserve to beat Nottingham Forest based on the second half performance. But yeah, I think we should get our rewards if we carry on, just basically carry on doing what we're doing. But we've been doing all season, basically. So, look, in terms of team lineup, I would make a couple of changes from the starting lineup against Nottingham Forest. I think over the last few weeks, there's a couple of players that they've got me thinking. I'm going to go through the lineup. I'll talk through each one of them individually. I'm sticking with Alisson in goal. I don't want to say that's controversial because I don't believe it is. I would be more than happier if he put Kelleher in goals. I think Alisson just needs to play his way back into form because he's not been the Alisson we all know and love for the last few weeks. For whatever reason, whether that's coming back off injury or whether it's something else, I would stick with Alisson in goals. My defence, Trent Alexander-Arnold speaks for itself. Konate, Van Dijk, again, I think speak for himself. Konate, I mean, it's either Konate or Kwanzaa, and that's a no-brainer for me. Now at left back, I'm starting Tsimikas. I think he did well when he came on against Nottingham Forest. I don't think he's going to be the answer to Liverpool's left back problems going forward. But based off of form and based off who I think has the better defensive qualities at the minute, it's Tsimikas. And that pains me to say because I love Robertson and I do think he still has something to offer. But he just looks out of sorts. He looks exhausted. So for me, I'm going to start Tsimikas at left back. Moving on into midfield, and I made a video about this yesterday. I do believe we need more depth in the squad. Midfield is definitely a position where I believe that needs to be done. So I don't really have much option other than to start Gravenberch and McAllister. There could be an argument for Curtis Jones starting in this game. I think we need to get off to a quick tempo, and I think Curtis Jones... I like Curtis Jones. I know he comes in for quite a little bit of criticism from a few of the Liverpool fans, a minority of the Liverpool fans. I like Curtis Jones, but I think he can hold on to the ball too long, and we don't need that in this game. We need to get on the front foot, quick movement, quick passing, get the ball into the box and create chances, and I think we've got more chance doing that with Gravenberch and McAllister, and lastly Szoboszlai playing in that more advanced role. I think Szoboszlai... I don't think Szoboszlai gets the credit he deserves. So when I say the credit he deserves, I think off the ball, Szoboszlai, that's where he doesn't get the credit he deserves. I think he could potentially do more on the ball, but his work rate and he creates spaces by his run, so it's not just when the opponents have the ball, it's even when we've got the ball. He's probably one of the only players in the team currently who you can guarantee in the 90th minute he's still making overlapping runs. He's still chasing back. Look, I think Szoboszlai can do more on the ball, but off the ball I have no issues whatsoever with Szoboszlai in terms of triggering the press, in terms of tracking back and chasing his man back. I think we're a better midfield with him in it. So I'm starting Szoboszlai in front of obviously Gravenberch and McAllister. Obviously Salah on the right wing. We don't have any other options. Chiesa is not going to start. I'll be surprised if he gets any minutes. Salah's not going to want to stay off the pitch. Not that I'd have him off the pitch. I think he's obviously our best player. And yeah, so Salah starts here. Now I'm after the impact that Jota had, I'm playing Jota up front. And I don't think that's controversial. I think a lot of people will be saying the same thing. I think he's the closest thing we've got to a clinical goal scorer. Obviously, he's got injury concerns, and we need to manage that. But I'd certainly be starting with Jota. And I think look, Cody Gakpo's been brilliant, but I think this game will suit Luis Diaz on the left wing, give him the opportunity to run at run at the defenders, and just basically do what he does without. Like, I think he's looked a bit lost in the last couple of games when he's played as a striker. I don't think that's a long-term option. I think it would be nice to see him on the left and give him the opportunity in his natural position. So that would be my starting lineup with Salah, Jota, and Diaz on the left. In terms of score prediction, again, so obviously we went through the recent scores. We've had a 3-3 draw, we've had a 3-1 defeat, and we've had a 4-1 victory. I think we will win this game. I think this will be the game that gets us back on track. It gets us putting wins together. I think Brentford will score because we don't seem to look like we can keep a clean sheet at the minute. And I'm going to say that Liverpool will win 3-1. And Mo Salah will be back on the score sheet with a brace, hopefully. Let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know your score predictions, and I'll see you on the next one.